Tom Aspinall reacted to Jon Jones' crushing victory over Stipe at UFC 309. The interim heavyweight champ didn't hold back, taking shots at Jones after his dominant win. Aspinall expressed confidence that a showdown between him and Jones is inevitable, setting the stage for what Aspinall and Dana White are hyping up to be the biggest heavyweight fight in UFC history. The interim champ is confident it's the fight everyone wants to see, and Dana agrees it would be an all-time blockbuster. But the problem is, Jon isn't looking Tom's way just yet. Instead, Bones seems focused on a potential super fight with Alex Pereira, leaving fans buzzing about which matchup will actually go down.
I ain't 42-year-old Stipe, man. Jon knows it. And Jon's a lot smarter than a lot of you people think. Jon knows exactly what he's up against. Yeah, Jon's just flirting with everybody. Jon's being a sassy little flirt over there with everybody. And it's great, it's fantastic, I love it. This fight's gonna happen, man. We've got a lot of negotiation to do, obviously, of course. That's the way that the world works, especially at this level. But I'm very optimistic. I'm very, very optimistic. Throw me a pair of gloves. That's what I'm negotiating. Throw me a pair of gloves. I'm in.
Russian MMA YouTube channel Ushateka held an interview with a 25-year-old Dagestani MMA fighter, Abdulaziz Datsilayev, who is a training partner of major stars like Michael Chandler, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and Ian Garry. He was first asked about Chandler's fight camp for Charles Oliveira. Quote, "You know, Mike's camps for Poirier and Oliveira were completely different. It was like two completely different people. In this camp for the Oliveira fight, Mike was focused and locked in. He was listening to everything his coaches told him. In the Poirier camp, he was more cocky and wasn't listening. He changed a lot." Abdulaziz also revealed that Chandler secretly owns a multi-million-dollar phone software. Later, Abdulaziz opened up about Ian Garry and Shavkat's sparring session. Quote, "Shavkat has improved so much. His grappling has gotten way better. He even choked out Ian Garry twice in the clinch. He submitted him with the standing ninja choke, the one he used on Neil Magny. Yeah, he actually did it to Garry. So yes, Shavkat looked very good against Ian Garry, but you know, I'm not going to underestimate Garry. He is very good also. He is very quick. He got awkward boxing and very creative striking. It's going to be a good fight." Abdulaziz then talked about the current featherweight champ Ilia Topuria, revealing he destroyed a Dagestani fighter and beat up the Irish star Paul Hughes in the training like it was nothing. Quote, "He once came to the gym and knocked out a Dagestani fighter with a liver shot. I watched him spar Paul Hughes as well. Paul is so quick, he has fast hands, and it was very interesting watching him spar. Ilia performed so well. That was the first time I thought, yeah, this guy Ilia is the real deal." Dana White goes off on Jon Jones still not being pound for pound #1. At UFC 309, Jones made a spectacular return after a 20-month hiatus, defending his heavyweight title with a dominant third-round TKO over Stipe, who was coming off a 3.5-year break. The fight headlined the pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden in New York, and Jones looked every bit the champion. For months now, Dana has been vocal about his frustration with Jones not sitting at #1 in the UFC's official pound-for-pound rankings. Before UFC 309, Jones was ranked #3 behind Alex Pereira and Islam Makhachev. But after his win, Jones moved up to #2, surpassing Pereira, though still trailing Makhachev. Unsurprisingly, White isn't happy that Jones still isn't #1 and made that clear on Instagram Monday night, expressing his irritation with the rankings panel once again. "I have to get rid of these clowns," White wrote. "Zuck, let's get this AI deal done ASAP." Just last month, Dana suggested he might be open to a new way of compiling the rankings, potentially involving AI, and even consulted Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, a huge UFC fan, about the idea. It seems the UFC president is fed up with the current system and is looking for new solutions to make sure the rankings reflect the fighter's true standing. "I could go on and on and on, but I won't." White said, "We literally had meetings this week to work on it. I actually talked to Mark Zuckerberg too about AI, so yeah, I'm totally going to fix the rankings. We're going to make a lot of strong moves here coming into 2025. What do you think? Does Jones deserve the #1 spot after beating the greatest heavyweight of all time? Leave your comments below." Michael Venom Page's unique karate style has caused major headaches for his opponents throughout his MMA career, often leading them to implement a grappling-heavy game plan to counter his striking. But ahead of a potential showdown with Shara Magomedov, Paige is expecting a different approach if the two meet inside the octagon. Recently, both fighters have teased a potential UFC Saudi Arabia booking, with Shara Bullet, one of the hottest prospects in the middleweight division, coming off another stunning knockout at UFC 308. There's been plenty of speculation about whether Paige will make the jump to 185 for this potential fight with Shara. If the bout happens, it would be a thrilling clash between two of the most dangerous stand-up specialists in the UFC today. However, Paige's grappling has been exposed in recent fights, with many of his opponents opting for takedowns and grappling exchanges rather than striking with him on the feet. While fighters often talk about knocking Paige out or standing with him, the reality is that his past matches have often started with takedown attempts and scrambles. But Paige isn't too worried about that tactic with Magomedov. In a recent interview with Red Corner MMA, he shared his thoughts on how Shara presents a different kind of challenge compared to his past opponents. For me, the amount of times people have spoken about how they're gonna knock me out, the better striker, and the same thing happens over and over again, Paige said. The likes of Paul Daly, Garry, so many people that want to grab me because it's just different when I'm in front of you. At the same time, I honestly believe he's going to be very confident in his ability to strike. He doesn't seem amazing on the floor. I'm sure he's capable, but I agree it's going to be fireworks up until the fight, and then maybe he might make a few different decisions. But if he doesn't, perfect. Let's make it a stand-up fight. Charles Oliveira's future in the lightweight division looks intriguing, especially after his win over Michael Chandler. A rematch with Islam Makhachev seems like the most likely next step for Oliveira, assuming the champ gets past Arman Tsarukyan. Oliveira's first fight with Makhachev was one-sided, with Islam dominating and securing the submission win. However, a rematch would offer a lot of storyline, considering Oliveira's resilience and the desire to redeem himself after such a decisive loss. The situation becomes even more interesting with Makhachev set to face Arman Tsarukyan next. Tsarukyan is a skilled fighter who outclassed Oliveira and beat him via decision, though it was a competitive fight. If Tsarukyan were to beat Makhachev, it could set up a compelling matchup between Oliveira and Tsarukyan, given their history. Charles Oliveira has become one of the most popular and respected fighters in the MMA world, and for good reason. His journey from being doubted to becoming the lightweight champion captured the hearts of fans. While his loss to Islam was a setback, his fan base has only grown stronger. Fans admire Oliveira for his relentless determination, his unpredictable fighting style, and his ability to evolve. Fans believe he still has what it takes to reclaim the lightweight championship, and there's strong support for a potential rematch with Makhachev. What do you think, fans? Do you believe Charles Oliveira can make a comeback and reclaim the lightweight title, or is it Islam Makhachev era all the way? Leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.